All right, I'm going to try something a little bit different in that I'm going to do the preview video while this is in the intermission. I know I'm going to miss a bit of the third period, and that sucks because Calgary-Vancouver's great. But I don't want to be doing videos until 1 o'clock in the morning tonight, and I've got a lot of stuff to do, so if I can do this now, we'll get to it. Gotcha. First up, Colorado's in against Boston. Colorado's 22-22-10. After that overtime loss today. Boston, of an overtime win, 30-17-8. Lots of overtime right now in the NHL, and that's kind of the way it's going to be from here on because we're getting to the playoff crunch time. Games get a lot closer. Defenses tend to get better. Goaltending usually gets better, but in some cases it doesn't look like it is for some teams, so we'll see. Over their last 10, Colorado's 2-6-2. They've lost 6 in a row. And it's really starting to hurt because St. Louis is picking it up. So with the Blues picking it up, it really amplifies how Colorado's managing to fall right out of it. Boston's 4-2-4 in their last 10. They won their last game. So you can look and say, well, they've only lost 2 in regulation. I'm a glass half empty kind of guy. I see 4 wins in their last 10. And I do have some real concerns about whether or not they end up finishing in the playoffs. They have 68 points. Which is well in advance of where Buffalo is right now. Carolina's sitting with 62, so everything looks good, but that concern is still there. On the road, Colorado's now 12-12-5. At home, Boston's 19-7-3. Points per game. So I've gone into some other stats for this one. Points per game, the leaders for Colorado, Rantanen, 1.39, McKinnon, 1.35, and Landeskog, 1.09. Ice time leaders, McKinnon leads there at 21 minutes and 57 seconds per game. Barrie, 25:56. Johnson, 21 minutes and 46 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes in the game. So this is if, for every 60 minutes of ice time they get, how many goals do they get? Landeskog leads with 1.54, McKinnon 1.44, and Rantanen 1.28. So they are the most productive players by ice time and by sheer numbers, which shouldn't surprise anybody. Goaltenders, I'm not aware of anybody being confirmed. Let me double check. All right, just a couple of them that are confirmed. On the Colorado side of things, they haven't confirmed yet. I would think Grubauer because Varlamov played today. Varlamov now has a 13-13-7 record, 905 save percentage. That's been remarkably consistent. Grubauer is 9-7-3 with an 890 save percentage. On the Boston side of things, points per game leaders, Bergeron 1.28. Bergeron, if not for injury, would be their leading scorer. Pastrnak 1.20. Marchand 1.17. So much like Colorado, their first line, that's their scoring right there. Ice time leaders, McAvoy leads at 21:38, which would surprise some, I would think, but for Boston fans, we know what Charlie Mack is. Krug, 21 minutes and 32 seconds. Chara, 20 minutes and 58 seconds. So Chara's ice time has been cut back due to his age, and I would think that that's something that makes total sense. Goals per 60 minutes, so same as with Colorado. Pastrnak leads the way with a 1.81. Bergeron, 1.60. DeBrusk, 1.15. Goaltenders, Halak's been confirmed. Makes sense since Rask started today. Halak's 13-9-4, 918 save percentage. Rask 17-8-4 with a 921 save percentage. Season series, well, Colorado's won their only meeting this year. So for what that's worth. All right, next up, Toronto. So the Leafs coming off of a win against an Original Six team go tomorrow to face another Original Six team in the New York Rangers. And the Rangers are an unpredictable squad. 34-17-3 is Toronto's record now. 23-23-8 is the Rangers' record. Over their last 10, Toronto's 6-3-1. They've won 4 in a row now. Whereas the Rangers are 5-4-1. They lost their last game. On the road, Toronto's an impressive 17-6-2. At home, the Rangers are 14-9-6. So the Rangers have won 14 out of 29 games at home. That mystique they had early in the year at home has been dispelled. Points per game on the Leafs side of things. Marner leads the way at 1.22. Matthews at 1.28. And Matthews had a much higher points per game not that long ago. It makes sense. He's been a bit of a slump. Tavares 1.11. And I mean overall, compared to what Matthews was doing early in the year. Anybody would slump from that. But Tavares at 1.11. Ice time leaders. Morgan Rielly at 22:45. Gardner 21:23. Jake Muzzin at 21.19. Goals per 60 minutes. Austin Matthews has 2.03 goals per 60 minutes. That's impressive. Tavares 1.90, and Janssen has 1.29 per every 60 minutes. So when Janssen gets ice time, he makes the most of it. Goalies, no confirmation here. I expect Sparks. He's 7-3-1 with a 909 save percentage. Anderson's 25-11-2 with a 922 save percentage. On the Rangers side of things, points per games played, Zibanejad leads there with 0.98, and he's been lights out for the last 20-plus games. Kevin Hayes, 0.82, and Matt Zuccarello, 0.75, has started scoring as well. As early in the season was the case, as was the case early in the year, the two Zeds seem to make it work. Ice time leaders, Pionk, 22 minutes and 13 seconds. Brady Shea, 21 minutes, 14 seconds. Zibanejad, 20 minutes and 9 seconds. And I understand Pionk tends to seem to be in the doghouse at times and other times not. It's an interesting blue line with the Rangers. I'll just put it at that. Goals for every 60 minutes that they play. Kreider leads the way with 1.54. Zibanejad 1.21 and Buchnevich 1.01. Goaltenders, I expect Lundqvist for this one because it is Toronto. It's a big game. He's 16-14-8 with a 907 save percentage. Georgiev is 7-9 with an 897 save percentage, and Toronto won the only matchup between these two teams earlier this year. So this will be, they meet 3 times because they're in the same conference. It's going to be an interesting one. I do favor Toronto. The fact that the Rangers are going to be more rested could end up favoring them. 2 weeks out from the trade deadline, expect a ton of scouts at this one. Toronto is a team that's probably going to be looking to buy, and the Rangers are one of the few known sellers, so I would expect a lot of scouts at this game and a lot of talk and chatter about who was and wasn't there coming out of that one. Next up, Winnipeg Jets. Coming off of a loss in Ottawa, now they get to go into Buffalo. And this is going to be a big test for them because it's a back-to-back, and they need to show, yeah, all right, we've recovered. All right, we've got it. We're getting it together. 34-18-3 overall. Buffalo's 27-20-7. The Jets are 5-4-1 in their last 10, but they've lost 3 in a row. Buffalo's 4-5-1 in their last 10, and they won today. On the road, Winnipeg is 14-12, and on the road they've been shakier than at home by far. They're very good at home. At home, Buffalo 16-7-4. So Buffalo is much better at home than they are on the road as well. So those numbers tell you that this may very well favor Buffalo. Points per 60 games played on Winnipeg. Wheeler 1.18, Scheifele 1.15, and Byfuglien 0.88. On the ice time side of things, Byfuglien 24 minutes and 28 seconds leads the way. Scheifele 22 minutes and 34 seconds, which is really high for a forward. Trouba 22 minutes and 32 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes. Brendan Lemieux leads there with 1.74. You have to wonder if it stays at that kind of level, does Paul Maurice give him more ice time? Line A, despite his struggles, is still second at 1.61, and Ehlers, who's been injured, of course, 1.38. Goaltenders, I expect Hellebuck in this one because Brossoit started today. Hellebuck's 24-15-2 with a 910 save percentage. Brossoit's now 10-3-1 with a 934 save percentage. On the Buffalo side of things, points leaders per games played. Eichel, 1.14. Reinhart and Skinner, both at 0.91. So and I keep seeing online with the whole Reinhart scandal thing, and people saying, well, Reinhart needs to be a better player. And I'm thinking, you guys not paying attention for like a year? He's been pretty darn solid. Anyways, ice time leaders, Ristolainen, 25 minutes and 11 seconds. Bogosian, 21 minutes and 38 seconds. Rasmus Dahlin rounds it out with 20 minutes and 44 seconds. Goals for every 60 minutes on the ice. Skinner is at an even 2. Pominville 1.22 and Eichel 1.01. Goaltenders, I expect Hutton here because Ullmark started today. Ullmark's 12-5-4 now with a 911 save percentage. Hutton 15-15-3 with a 909 save percentage. And Buffalo won their matchup in Winnipeg. So we'll see how things turn out in the Buffalo meetup this year. It's going to be an interesting one. Again, Winnipeg, this is their first 3-game losing streak. It's not a reason to panic, But if Nashville suddenly gets hot, and I'll preview that one next, but if Nashville were to suddenly get hot, Winnipeg would have something to worry about. Maybe St. Louis is going to end up being the biggest danger in the whole division. Maybe the Blues just ride this hot streak on for who knows how long. And that being said, let's go ahead and jump into that game. The St. Louis Blues get to play Nashville again tomorrow after beating them today. That's a good schedule for St. Louis. And a month ago, if I told you, yeah, they get to play Nashville back-to-back, St. Louis fans would have said, crap. Because at that point, it probably would have been figured, well, St. Louis will be out of it by then. It'll just be a bloodbath. Nope. St. Louis won at home. Now they got to win on the road. And the good news is they're better on the road than they are at home. The overall record for the Blues, 26-22-5. Nashville's 33-20-4. In their last 10, St. Louis is 7-2-1 with 5 wins in a row. On the road, they're 13-9-3. On the last 10 games for the Nashville Predators, they're 6-4. They lost their last game, which of course was against these Blues. And at home, they're 18-10. So very solid at home. And I know they lost their last home game. I'm trying to think of, I know they've lost at home really recently too. Anyways, I digress. Points per games played. I knew I was going to get the 60 minutes and the games played thing mixed up. I knew it. Points per games played. O'Reilly has an even 1. 1.00. Perron 0.78 and Tarasenko at 0.73. And he is getting better. Ice time leaders. Pietrangelo, 23 minutes and 51 seconds per game. Parayko, 22 minutes, 41 seconds. O'Reilly at 20 minutes and 53 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes played. Perron, 1.32. Tarasenko, 1.20. And Oscar Sundqvist is on there at 1.18. Goaltenders, they have to go with Binnington, don't they? Allen's 15-15-4 with an 897 save percentage. Binnington's 9-1-1 with a 931 save percentage. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Again, as I mentioned in an earlier video today, I'll be interested to see with these young, brand new goalies who are putting up gaudy stats, how it works the second time they play a team. This is a good example. Is Nashville going to go into tomorrow and handle it a little bit differently? And maybe if there is some weakness in Binnington's game, they find it tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Their points leaders per games played, Arvidsson 0.91, Forsberg 0.88, and Johansson 0.87. Ice time leaders, Yossi plays 25 minutes and 8 seconds a game, Ellis 24-27, and Ekholm 23-09. So those are your 3 workhorses on that blue line. And it's surprising Subban's not in there, but he's not top 3. Goals leaders per 60 minutes played, Arvidsson 2.15. So Arvidsson is scoring like crazy. Forsberg 1.57, and recently added Brian Boyle 1.18 is third on the list. Goaltenders, I expect Saros, since Rene played today. Saros is 14-6-1 with a 917 save percentage. Rene's 19-14-3 with a 914 save percentage. And by my count, St. Louis has won 2 of 3 meetings with Nashville this year. So we'll see how that works out for St. Louis tomorrow. That's going to be a very interesting game. And now I get to change boards. Okie dokie. Carolina. Yes, the Hurricanes. On their amazing hot month and a half now. They're in against the New Jersey Devils, who are really thinking about Jack Hughes right now, or Kakko. Either way, it doesn't really matter. They're not going to the playoffs. 28-21-6 is the record for the very hopeful Hurricanes, and hopeful fans as well, I might add, in against the 26-8 New Jersey Devils. These guys, and I did wear their brand new third for this video, because gosh darn it, we'll see if they can win one. Are they wearing this tomorrow? Because they have a horrible record wearing this. In their last 10, Carolina's 6-3-1. They've won 3 in a row. On the road, they're 14-12-2, whereas the Devils are 3-6-1 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. At home, they're 13-9-5. Points per game leaders for Carolina. Aho, 1.13. Teravainen, 0.87. Ferland, 0.61. So that scoring drops off, but there's some depth there, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. Ice time leaders, Slavin leads the way with 23 minutes and 2 seconds. Also leads them in saves by a defenseman. Falk, 22 minutes and 18 seconds. Aho, still at 19 minutes and 56 seconds. Exact same number he had the last time I looked at his ice time. Goals per 60 minutes. Per 60 minutes played, Menelanen, 1.36. Any Hurricanes fan who's watched Menelanen can tell he's playing really well. Aho, 1.31, and McKegg, there's a surprise, 1.24. So I threw him on there because I'm like, hey, McKegg's in there. I got to throw. You're never going to see him in a stats leaders category, so we'll throw him up there. Goaltenders, doesn't matter who they play. They're both playing really well right now. McElhinney is 13-6-1 with a 914 save percentage. Mrazek's 12-11-3 with an 898 save percentage, but that save percentage is going up. On the New Jersey side, points per games played. Hall still leads there at 1.12. He will be back soon. Palmieri, 0.74, and Hischier, 0.72. Ice time leaders, Vatanen, 21 minutes and 44 seconds. Severson, 21 minutes, 21 seconds. And Andy Green with 20 minutes and 57 seconds. One of my complaints about the New Jersey Devils over the years is I thought they overplayed Green. The fact he's number 3 on the ice time list among defensemen, that's better than when he was number 1. Goals per 60 minutes played, Palmieri leads there at 1.43. Coleman, 1.25. And Nico Hischier at 1.08. He's been playing really well lately. Goaltenders, Kincaid's been confirmed. He's 14-16-3 with an 896 save percentage. And Schneider, he's 0-6-2 now with an 868 save percentage. It's just sad. I feel bad for him. The season series is tied at 1. We'll see if it's still tied at 1 tomorrow. And I'll say this, if they decide to wear the third jersey, the white third jersey at home tomorrow, Carolina likes wearing their home jerseys on the road because the owner doesn't like their white jerseys. I think of the white jerseys in the NHL, Carolina's is actually pretty nice, but there's a redesign coming, I do believe. So anyways, there you go, just a little tidbit on that one. Next up, Minnesota. They win today. They beat New Jersey. Now they get to move in and play against New York Islanders, a team that's been, if you don't know, playing kind of well. They've had some really, really close ones, but they're still winning. And they spotted Colorado a 2-goal lead today, and they came back and won it. So there's a lot of heart with these Islanders, and there's a coach standing behind the bench who's got it right now. For me, he's the 100% winner of the Jack Adams Award. I can't see where he doesn't. I thought about saying Vezina, but I thought, nah. The new people of the channel wouldn't get the joke. Anyways, in their last 10, Carolina's 6-3-1. Or no, Shannon, you're not in that game. Minnesota's 5-3-2. They won their last game. On the road, they're now 14-13-1, so they're above 500 there. The Islanders are 7-1-2 in their last 10. They won their last 2. At home, they're 16-7-4. So overall, the numbers for the Islanders are very good. Points per games played. Parise leads there at 0.87. Granlund 0.80. And Eric Stahl 0.69. Ice time leaders. Suter, 26 minutes and 43 seconds. Believe he still leads the league in that category. Spurgeon, 23 minutes and 34 seconds. Dumba, despite being injured, he's still there at 23 minutes and 22 seconds. And as a reminder that that's what they're missing on their blue line. And it's impressive that they've stayed in the playoff hunt with somebody who scored 12 goals and played as solid for them as Dumba was, being out of the lineup. Goals per 60 minutes played. Parise 1.35, Stahl 1.08, and Aberg 1.03 because of all the goals he scored in Anaheim, despite the fact he wasn't playing a ton. Goaltenders, Dubnyk played today. I expect Stalock tomorrow. Stalock 6-5-1 with an 891 save percentage. That being said, this is an important game, so Dubnyk may get the start. 21-18-4, 912 save percentage, and I could see them starting him on back-to-backs. On the Islanders side of things, points per game leaders, Barzal 0.89, Bailey 0.72, and Lee 0.70. Ice time leaders, Pulock has 22-24 to lead the Islanders. There's another one, Ryan Pulock. If you're not an Islander fan, you may not realize he's having an excellent season, and he's become the linchpin on that blue line. Leddy 22-02, and Hickey, who I don't think he's back yet, but he has a 19-03 as his average ice time. So once he's back, having that back in the lineup helps that blue line for that push into the playoffs. Goals per 60 minutes played, Lee leads there with 1.19. No surprise he leads. But Cizikas is a surprise at a 1.17, and Nelson at 1.06. So Casey Cizikas is taking advantage of the ice time he gets. Goaltenders, Leonard, Grice, either way you're good. I think it'll be Greiss based on the fact Leonard played today. Leonard's 17-8-4, 930 save percentage. Greiss is 15-8-2 with a 926 save percentage. This is the first meeting between these two teams. I believe they play again later this week. So it'll be a very interesting matchup. And because of the fact Minnesota's fighting for that playoff spot and the Islanders are fighting to stay number one in the division, it's really important to them. It seems to be really important to them to finish with as solid a record as possible. I guess you rally around the fact that nobody gave you a chance at the start of the year. That's the way it appears to me. All right, next up, Detroit, 21-27-7. They're in against the 22-24-9 Chicago Blackhawks. And again, you know, the fact that they've only won 22 games, but we're talking about them maybe making the playoffs. Detroit is only 4 points behind Chicago, and they have no chance of making the playoffs. So we'll get into that tomorrow, though. But yeah, 22-24-9, but they're playing well when they have to, and they just keep winning. So as long as you keep winning, you're good. The thing is, St. Louis has got to start losing some games, too, so they can make up ground on St. Louis. 5-5 is the record of the Detroit Red Wings over their last 10. They've lost their last 2. On the road, they're 10-14-3. At home, they're not great either. Chicago is 6-2-2 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. And at home, they're 11-10-6. This used to be a great rivalry. When the divisions changed over and conferences changed, this is a Norris division. They were both in the Norris back in the 80s. This is a Norris division rivalry I was sad to see go. Anyways, points per games played leaders for Detroit. Larkin leads with a 0.96, Nyquist 0.84, and Athanasiou 0.69. Of course, there's a lot of rumors about Nyquist getting traded out soon, but I'm not convinced it'll happen soon. And if they want a first and anything else, I'm not sure who pays that. Ice time leaders, Larkin leads there at 21 minutes and 53 seconds, so it's a rarity to see a forward as the leader in ice time. We saw it in Colorado as well. Green, 21 minutes and 42 seconds, and Danny DeKeyser, 21 minutes and 8 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes played, Athanasiou, 1.31, Larkin, 1.19, Mantha, 1.07. Goaltenders, Howard played today. You could see Bernier tomorrow. Bernier's been playing better lately. He's 6-12-2, 898 save percentage. Howard, 15-15-5 with a 913 save percentage. On the Chicago side, points per game leader is, of course, Patrick Kane at 1.46, Taves 0.98, and DeBrincat at 0.91. Ice time leaders, Keith 22 minutes and 40 seconds, Kane 22 minutes and 15 seconds, Gustafsson 21 minutes and 58 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes played on the ice, DeBrincat leads there at 1.75, which is really, really fantastic compared to almost everybody else on the board here. That's a fantastic total. His goals per game is almost up with Braden Points, or goals per 60 minutes. Kane is at 1.6 and Taves at 1.26. So again, the big three scorers are the big three on that chart as well. Goaltenders, I expect Delia. He's 6-2-2 with a 922 save percentage. Ward's 10-8-4, 891 save percentage. And this storied Original Six rivalry, this is their first meeting this year, which is further example of how criminal it is that they're no longer in the same division. That just doesn't seem right. Just doesn't seem right to me. Next up, and finally, last but not least, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Fresh off a win, wearing those black jerseys. That's just going to encourage them to wear them more. I understand too, and they said, well, you know, they sell really well. Yeah, but the first year that Buffalo went to that design that we called the Buffaslug, they were the number one selling jersey in the NHL. Fans will buy something that's brand new. They'll be excited about it, and then quickly thereafter, fans can turn on it. Much like fans have gone the other way on the Islander Fisherman, where it was derided and hated, and now everybody wants a Fisherman jersey. So weird. But Tampa's 40-11-4 now, meaning they already have a winning record for the season, and they're 55 games into it. The Florida Panthers, 23-22-8. So Florida coming off of a win tonight. And Florida, they're not in it, but they're not playing like they don't want to be in it. They're playing for pride at this point. This is that time of the year where Florida will normally start playing really well, and you start going, maybe next year. I don't think Florida fans are going to fall for that again. In their last 10, Tampa's 5-3-2 with a win in their last game tonight against Pittsburgh. On the road, they're 19-6-2. Florida's 6-4 in their last 10, meaning they've actually been better than Tampa. Technically, they've got one more win. And they've won their last 2 at home. They're 12-8-5. Now, when you look at points per game leaders, Kucherov leads the way for Tampa at 1.47, Braden Point 1.24, Stamkos 1.13. Ice time leaders, Hedman leads there at 23 minutes and 34 seconds, McDonough 21.57, Strawman 20 minutes and 58 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes played on the ice, Point leads there with a 1.87, Stamkos 1.71, and look at Joseph, 1.47. You look at some of these guys across the board, he is scoring more goals per 60 minutes right now than guys named Larkin and Taves. And he's relegated to bottom 6 duty very often with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It is embarrassing the amount of riches they have. Goaltenders, Vasi started today. I expect Domingue tomorrow. Domingue's 17-4 with a .906 save percentage. Vasi's now 22-7-4 with a .926 save percentage. Just embarrassing. Just the numbers this kid's putting up. I really think that Vasi ends up getting the Vezina this year. I'd be very surprised if he didn't, but we're still a ways out from that, so I'm not doing a video predicting the Vezina or anything yet. On the Florida side of things, points per games played, Barkov has an even 1.00, Huberdeau 0.96, Hoffman 0.85. Ice time leaders, Ekblad 23 minutes and 19 seconds, Barkov 22 minutes 53 seconds, Yandel 22 minutes and 41 seconds. Goals per 60 minutes played, Hoffman leads there with a 1.53, Frankie Vetrano at 1.40, and Dadonov at 1.16. I love Frankie, I just got to say it. Goaltenders, I expect Reimer since Luongo played today. Luongo's 12-12-1 now with an .896 save percentage. Reimer's 10-9-5 with a .901 save percentage. All right, there you go. You're all set for the 8 games tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.